there are not enough jobs, but there's a job for you. So if you mess up during interviews, it's you might be good on the job, but nobody might want to take gamble on this person messed up on the interview. But let's just I feel he or she will be good on the job. Nobody wants to take that gamble. Similar to confidence, overconfidence. Because there are some people that are actually good performers but bad team members, right? They will make a mess of the team, and you rather lose a good performer than lose an entire team. And my advice to talents in terms of AI would be to adopt it as fast and as far as you can. Because at the end of the day, it's not AI that will take the job, but someone who is able to use AI effectively that will be able to take it. The offer letter is the contract, and whatever it's written is what stands.
Hello everyone, I'm with Mr. Emmanuel Samuel, a technical recruiter and one of the top HR voice in Africa. Hello, Mr. Emmanuel. It's so nice to have you here with us.
Hi, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. I currently specialize as a technical recruiter at a fintech in Africa. I have various experience in the HR value chain, but I currently, for a few years now, been specialized as a technical recruiter. I am passionate about helping job seekers to find and thrive on their dream jobs. From recruitment, what I do is I speaking engagements, and writes. I'm also for a couple blogs. What else? I think that's just pretty much it's outside of work. I like listening to music, good music, and I like watching football. I don't know, honestly, I think it is good.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, that's just a few things about me.
And you didn't mention you're a singer, a very good singer.
Oh,
That's
yeah. I think so.
yeah, so it's a pleasure to have you here, Mr. Emmanuel. And today, Mr. Emmanuel will be helping us developers, software engineers, or those who aspire to be in tech, know what the HR is looking for, know how to stand out, and know what he seeks when he's looking for a software engineer or developer to hire.
Okay. So there are certain qualifications known as minimum qualifications, which are sort of must-haves. You can't proceed with the candidate if you or she doesn't have those qualifications. So those are the first things that I look out for. So if I'm hiring for a role or a company that's probably because of the region that they're in, part of the regulatory requirement is that whoever it is that you're bringing in it must have minimum of a bachelor's degree. That's one of the requirements I'm looking out for. It varies from region to region. Not every region has that requirement, but for regions who have that requirement, and for organizations who have that requirement as well, I take note of that. There are a couple others like that. Also, look at things like location. Most of the roles, or many of the roles that I handle, if not all, that I handle and that I've handled are location specific. Sometimes from Europe, sometimes I'm recruiting from Africa. So I look out for those roles as well. Check if the candidate actually is in the role that I'm hiring for. And then after those minimum things, then I look out for the years of experience as well. Um, More often than not, the role that I'm hiring for usually has a range in terms of years of experience. So if we're looking for a senior engineer who probably we're looking at 5 to 7 years of experience or 5 to 9 years of experience, whatever, depending on the yardstick that the company as sets. as part of their grade structure within the organization. I check out for that as well. And then I think after that, then I begin to look out for the key skills. Say for instance, I'm looking to hire a backend engineer. So what programming language am I looking for? Is it C sharp? Is it Java? If it's Java, for instance, what's the framework that I'm looking to hire? Springboard, whatever, Spring Boot, sorry, whatever framework that I'm looking to hire, I check that as well. If there are any other core requirements in terms of skill sets, in terms of tools that the candidate must have used, in terms of industries that the candidate must have worked in, because there are some roles that will require some core experience in certain industries. Say, for instance, I'm hiring for the edtech for a company in the edtech space, and then they are looking for guys who have actually built products in the edtech space. That might be a core requirement. So I look out for that as well. So that's essentially what a recruiter look out for in the candidate's resume. So it's typically based off what has been outlined in the job advert, in the JD, whatever terminology you want to use to describe the information has been put out in the job adverts. That's essentially what we look out for. So bringing it back home as a talent, as a candidate, what you necessarily have to do is to check the job advert. Are there skills that are stated as requirements or as required in this job advert that I actually have, but for some reason I forgot or I didn't put them in my resume? You ensure to do that such that the recruiter might not know you before now, so he or she won't just assume you have these skill sets. They
Yeah,
what
true.
you put on your resume, on your LinkedIn profile, on your GitHub profile, your Stack Overflow profile, that they will check and see, okay, this person actually has what we're looking for. So once you do that assessment, you ensure that you put in the required skill set that you have or experience that you have in your resume, any of your profiles, and I think you're good to go.
Yeah, you mentioned you check for degree. Minimum qualification is a degree. But does your degree in any way affect you hiring for roles? Must it be from a, for instance, a computer science degree since it's technical roles you hire for?
So for it varies based on organizations. For various organizations have various practices, but based off my observation, what happens most times is for tech roles, they're not so necessarily so big on you, say for instance, graduating from a computer science course or computer engineering course. Not so much because tech is very, very hands-on, it's very based. So typically checking, do you actually have what it takes to do the job as opposed to what your educational background? Because especially in the context where I find myself in today, all part of Africa,
Hmm.
more often than not, we have talents, not just people restricted to tech. We have talents more often than not who do something completely different from what they studied in the academic, in the form of the academic. So, yeah, we don't typically put so much restriction.
Emphasis on the degree.
The candidate whose profile mirror the job ad. So, case in point, or for example, I want to get a particular, I want to get a ride, I want to get a car, then I have some brands in my head. I'm not doing a food advert, but let's say for instance, I'm looking to get Toyota Highlander. I'm looking to get one who the certain engine type, say V6 or V8. I'm looking to get one that the AC is working very well. I'm looking to get all of these requirements I have them. When I go to the garage, I don't go there looking for a Volvo. I don't go there looking
All right.
for a Nissan. I go there looking for the brand that I've already set in mind. So I then begin to check, okay, is the AC working well? Is the engine type that I want? Is it the particular engine type that I want? And so that's how it works in terms of recruitment. So what makes candidates stand out will be candidates whose profile look more like the job advert that has been put out in terms of the skill sets that they have, they look like the skill set that has been placed in the job advert as required skill set. So that's typically what makes candidates stand out.
Yeah.
Okay, so for entry level roles, it's more of first clarity, and that's why I advise clarity a whole lot when I have the opportunity to speak with the graduates or entry level folks, such that your efforts is directed. You are not just directing your efforts everywhere. So it's more of that clarity that okay, I want to build a career path in product management, and then I've started acquiring skills that have to do with product management. I've started playing with tools that are useful in product management, like Sana, Jira's, Trellos, and the likes. I've started taking courses that are in line with product management. So that's clarity and that focus. When I see it in resumes, I'm like, okay, this person might not have so much skills, this person might not have so much experience, but that level of clarity that okay, this is what this person wants to do would make he or she stand out when there's like a pool of candidates. That's number one. Number two, some level of work in terms of projects that you've done, in terms of probably internships you've done, in terms of skill sets that you've acquired as well, would also make you stand out. Because yes, while you're not expected to have so much experience as an entry level folk, there are tons and tons of people that are in the same space as you are. So what will make you stand out should be what you focus on. How do I position myself that I will catch the eye of a prospective employer or recruiter? So those are the things that you should focus on. So number one, clarity as a fresh out of school person. What do you want to do such that you can focus all your energy, you can focus your profile along that career path. And then number two is to start acquiring the little skill sets, the little experiences, the little exposure that are in line with that path that you define for yourself, such that your profile will stand out as someone who is actually committed to growing that path once given the opportunity that he or she needs. Oh yes, ma'am. Biggest red flags in terms of candidates, in terms of applications, right?
Yes. Yes, I mean.
Okay. I think the biggest red flags would be I have to think about this because red flags is not necessarily the fact that oh this person doesn't qualify for the role, even if he or she qualifies for the role. Red flags would be yes, we probably don't want to, we don't want to hear this, but someone who leaves jobs as short as
So you're
say
looking for
everything.
commitments. Commitment.
Not necessarily. So let me build the point because this is a very dicey point to make.
Hmm.
So let me build it. So someone who company A just spent 3 months, company B spent 4 months, company C 2 months, company D just 1 month, and you're already applying to company E. That's going to raise concern. I'm not saying that as a recruiter I will not go ahead with that candidate or won't hire such candidates,
Hmm.
but a smart recruiter would want to find out what's actually happened. Because the truth is, life actually happens to people. It could be layoff, it could be the company liquidates, it could be anything, right? And he or she has experienced that a couple times, which is absolutely of no fault of theirs, right? But a smart recruiter wants to know. You want to ask. You don't just want to throw caution to the wind because the truth is, there are some talents who really don't care so much about doing the work. They just want to get the next role, ask for a higher budget, and expect that even as well that people who actually do that, right? So you want to ensure that you're hiring someone who actually wants to work, who is not just getting the job just because they want to increase their salary from what they were earning before, which is a good ambition to have. But when it becomes the only reason you're changing jobs, then that's a huge red flag. So apart from the fact that the candidate doesn't meet the requirement for the role at all, that's not any job.
That is
So there could be a couple of things that disqualifies candidates from proceeding to the stage where they're hired. First of which would be lack of technical know-how. I've done this recruitment work for a while to know that there are people that their CVs, their applications, their profiles online is what you ordered versus what you got. There's a balance. There's a particular interesting balance in Nigeria to be specific that when you probably order something online and what you see is actually not matching what you ordered, maybe inside the specification is really not what you ordered and you are disappointed. So in recruitment, that also happens. The CV looks great, the profile looks great, the person is in quotes a thought leader online, speaks so well and all of that. And then during interviews, you are asking the person to describe the basic step-by-step guide to a particular process in line with the role that you provide for. And then the person is starting from the end, missing some very important points, and then you are looking at the person like, okay, what's happening here? So that's one very huge disqualification point when a candidate is not able to display the accurate technical know-how. You're asking for software that he or she uses for the process, and then they are saying software that are used for different processes completely. Right. So that's number one, lack of proper technical know-how. Number two would be lack of confidence. Right. It's a very huge problem when it comes to interviewing. The truth is some people are good on the job, but interviews maybe they're not perfect, but sometimes there are ways to actually show to prove what you can do. So if you mess up during interviews, it's you might be good on the job, but nobody might want to take a gamble on this person messed up on the interview, but let's just I feel he or she will be good on the job. Nobody wants to take that gamble. So when you lack confidence, you most likely mess up in the interview even if you are good on the job. And that's why we typically talk about being confident, working on your confidence, such that you don't miss out on what you are actually good on. So that's number two. Number three, similar to confidence, overconfidence. You are saying things like, I can do the job, just give me the job. I've done XYZ for XYZ company, and their company is much bigger than your company. That I've worked more bigger than it looks like you're boasting. I know that it could be subjective at times, but there are certain things that are clear cut boasting. Yeah, saying things like, "Oh, I have more reach than your company. I have." There are ways you can say things like that that won't appear boastful because
boastful.
exactly because apart from the technical side of things, they're also looking at you whether you are a culture fit, whether you're a collaborative person, whether you will come on the team, and then you start making mess of everything. Because there's some people that are actually good performers but bad team members, right? They will make a mess of the team, and you rather lose a good performer than lose an entire team, right? So companies the guy might be good, but is boastful, is you might not want to take corrections because those are like kind of things that you would want to do when you're on the team. You won't eventually you won't know everything, right? So you those are things they want to see that you can character that you can show during an interview. So I think those three things will be major things or major qualities or lack of qualities, for lack of a better word or phrase, that would disqualify candidates. AI just like when the internet came up, like when it became world acclaimed, like that was some about 15 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. 25 years ago, sorry, the early 2000s, when the internet became like a thing, a proper thing that became adopted near and far. So, just like that, AI has come to make work harder. It's not necessarily a threat, except to see it that way, or except you position yourself to be affected by it. It's to AI is there to facilitate our work, to help us work more productive, more faster, more efficiently, right? And it's really affecting the world of work. Not necessarily. I think many times people just think about the robotic side of things and feel robots come and take our jobs and everything.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just a kind of AI, and robotics has always been even before AI became like a widespread thing. It's just that AI will make robotics more advanced than it currently is. AI is almost your apps today. Many of them are already get AI advanced, right? So it's artificial intelligence. It's a spice. It's an ingredient that comes to spice up the world of work and life as a whole. So how it affects the world of work is helping work to be better. It's helping work to be faster. It's helping us to be more effective at what we do. And my advice to the talents in terms of AI would be to adopt it as fast and as far as you can. Right? Don't see it as a threat. See it as an enabler. What software, what AI enabled software can I use as a front end engineer, as a QA guy that will help my work become better? Because at the end of the day, it's not AI that will take your job, but someone who's able to use AI effectively that will take your job.
Hmm. So you say that AI have kind of like increased the barrier of entry, or it's still as it was. Did you notice any like key difference? Because now, especially you just mentioned that AI can do a couple of things which would have taken time and effort, and now the barriers of entry has gone up a bit. So is it predominant?
Okay, so because we are still at the very early stage of adoption, still the effect is still not so much pronounced currently. However, within the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, the effect will be really pronounced. Where because organizations have really experienced and enjoyed the benefit of using AI advanced tools, AI advanced software, they will literally be asking for those software as the skill requirements for roles. Right? They will literally ChatGPT will soon become, at least let me just will soon become like a major requirement for hiring. Now, organizations are saying they don't want candidates who will be using ChatGPT during interview.
Yeah.
I tell you, just record this wherever it is. It will you will soon see a job ad that will state that ability to use ChatGPT
Ah,
is
it's a must.
soon see it.
Quote him,
And
quote him,
they
quote
will
him.
literally, yeah, they will literally test you during the interviews. How can you share your screen, use
Yeah.
ChatGPT? How can you use the phone? Because
Hmm.
it will no longer be viewed as just a cheat code that always lazy people that use it. It will
Yeah.
start being viewed as
You know.
a tool in the world of work. So, yeah, as of now, it's really not affecting barrier of entry in terms of roles and all of that, or maybe promotion, not so much because it's still at the budding phase. But give it some 2, 3, 4 years, it will AI advanced tools, AI enabled software will become like a major thing. They will become requirements in job environments. Check the JD. Very underrated. Before applying, check the JD. Don't just say, oh, they're looking for content engineer. Nah, then you apply. Check the JD. There might be some skills that they've asked for, and you just feel that skill is not so important. It's a random skill. Every content engineer should have this skill, and then you don't put it in your CV or you don't put it in your LinkedIn profile. For the company to intentionally write that they want that skill in the JD, they don't assume that every front-end engineer has that skill. they put it there intentionally because they want to see candidates that actually put in their CVs on their profiles that I have this skill. So don't, if the company is not assuming that every front-end engineer should have this skill, don't also assume that every front-end engineer has it. Let it be well spelled out in your resume, in your profile, whatever profile you have online. So that's one of the underrated things that I see that generally candidates they don't really check the job ad to see is there anything that I'm missing that is very required in this job advert that I should put in my CV. And I'm not saying you lie that everything in the job advert, just the ones you have, that's what you should replicate in your resume. So that's very underrated. So the essential things, of course, that every resume should have in terms of underrated, but I think I should mention your contact information has to be there and accurately stated. Case in point, I've had so many instances where people have the email addresses that they stated in their resume is not the active email address, was maybe their old email address. They don't have private access, they forgot the password, they created the new email address, they forgot to update that new email address in their resume or in their profile and for some reason. So you send them an interview invite, they don't have access to it. And that's where, I mean, say for instance, your phone number being stated in your resume comes to play too. But unfortunately, there are some cases where either the phone number is on the resume or the person needs the particular figure on the resume. Both mail and no matter how great your profile is, except the recruiter takes the extra stress to go online to look for you, probably via LinkedIn and everything, which might not be the case at all the times for various reasons. Maybe there are other candidates that they prefer to go ahead with and then they can reach out to them. They see, maybe they sent you the email, you saw the email, you felt you're not interested, the job was smaller than what you want, and all of that, or the company was too small for you, and you didn't want to respond and come up for the interview. That's probably what some recruiters feel, which might not be the case. It might just be the fact that you omitted those very critical contact information from the CV. Then the other bits would be things around your location, so important as well. Don't just leave it out. I don't necessarily I don't advise that you have to necessarily put out your full house address, residential address, number 4, XYZ Street, XYZ area. Don't necessarily have to do that. The area is fine, the area, the state that you're in, and then the country is fine. So you can have something like Houston, Texas, USA. That works. You can have something like Ikeria, Lagos, Nigeria. That's absolutely fine. We just want to know that you are within the area. Then of course your experience. I don't need to mention that, but that's very important. Achievements. So good to put your achievements in your resume because that stands you out. I review CVs for a living. Apart from that, I can tell you facts that 9 out of every 10 CVs do not have achievements. Stated in them. It's just duties and growth. People don't really put the achievement in their resume, which can really stand you out. Right? If I'm sitting down, you're doing X, Y, Z, I want to speak with you. I've seen that you have testimony needs to be done. I want to at least interview you to find out that what is in the first place. And then if you can convince me, of course, you will be rated above other people who don't have achievements to back up whatever it is that they're doing. So,
Okay,
achievement
the
resume.
achievements, it's does it take a different section, or because what I do see is that normally like included in the job description, like a particular achievement within working under
Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
good question. So, I advise that you let it stand out as much as possible. So, you don't just mix it up in your under the responsibilities and just put sandwiches. No, I advise you to let it stand out. So you can just have a separate section for achievement before you now put your responsibilities or for each work experience. That's if you have enough space in your CV.
Yeah.
For each work experience, you can put achievements, XYZ, blah, 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 and then responsibilities, you have it. The next work experience, achievement, blah, 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 and then responsibilities, you list that as well. So you can do that, but I advise that you let it stand out as much as possible, so that it's not just mixed up in the load of responsibilities, and then everyone just thinks it's just responsibilities that you listed there.
Hmm.
So that's that about that. And then skills, very important. We really don't pay attention to skills so much. Or what people do is say communication skills, presentation skills. Those are good.
Yeah.
But come to that, what are the core skills that are required for you as the QA engineer or as a DevOps guy? It's as simple as Googling what are the skills that are required for a DevOps person. Find out this particular skills that I don't pay attention to that are required, and I have it. And I'm not saying like again.
Yeah.
I put it in your resume.
Hmm.
So you do that, put the skills, software that you used, cloud infrastructure or systems that you've been exposed to, AWS, Azure, clearly state it under skills, exposure to AWS and Azure environments, software you've used before, put it there. Because another reason why this is important is not every company uses human beings to screen their CVs or review their CVs. Some have applicant tracking system that reviews CVs. And how ATS work, that's what people call ATS. How ATS often work is they have preset criteria that probably are manually put into the system, or they pick up keywords from the job ad that you created. So if you are looking for someone who has exposure with certain software like say Jira or Trello, you are hiring for a program manager, for instance, the ATS will either pick it up from that job ad, or you are the one manually enter it into the job ad. So those are keys, those are software that you probably are using or that you have used, yes. If you don't put it in your CV, even though you are it exactly. So there's really no universally accepted. There's no university in this world that says you are the yours. And what people just advise is just what has to do with how humans think. Many times, recruiters don't really have the luxury of time to be reviewing like so long CVs. So it's just advisable you keep your CV as short as possible. So maximum of maybe 3 pages or maximum of 4, like maximum of 4, right? But typically, commonly you see a CV of 3 pages, 2 pages. Commonly 2, 3 pages. That's fairly easy to build or review for a recruiter. Not say CV of 8 pages, 7 pages. It's like I'm not preparing for an exam. I don't need to review that long CV. Just it's not an exam. So yeah, that's so just make sure that very points you state them in your CV. Let it be concise, as short as possible, but has the very, very important points that should be in there. I put up this sometime last week on LinkedIn.
It's one of your most recent. I think you recently spoke about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll just mention one or two things that I remember from it. First would be your pay, of course, very important. Money is important. So you want to check that what you discussed during the interviews, what is reflecting in the contract and the offer letter in terms of the net pay or take home. Don't just see the gross pay and then you see the gross thing that still has tax that they deduct, that still has the statutory remittances that they deduct, and all that, and you feel that okay, that's what you're taking. No. Let them tell you, let it be described in the offer letter at the end of the deductions each month. This is what your net pay, your take home that will hit your accounts. And if it's cash that they give in your company, will be right. So that's number one. Number two would be the job title, very important. So because It's sad to say, but the truth is, some organizations can be very deceptive. You interview for a different role and then they're giving you a contract for a different role. So you want to check the job title that is what you discuss during interviews and what you're able to do, responsibilities if possible. You also want to check that, if possible, that if you have access to that, you also want to check that the responsibilities according to what was discussed. The work structure, hybrid, fully if fully remote, you want to check that as well. So you don't discuss something else and then you're seeing something else. Because the truth is, the offer letter is a contract, and whatever is written is what stands. In whatever court you want to go to, that's what stands. What you sign there is what stands. It's not what you said during interviews. It's not even the job advert. It's what you see, because you don't sign job adverts. It's what you sign in the offer letter. So you want to make sure that the work arrangements, the schedule of the work arrangements is what you discussed and what you're good with. How many days are you going physically to the office? How many days are you working remotely to ensure that that is aligned? You also want to see the leave days, if you have maybe the handbook, or if there's some organizations that put those information on the offer letter. You also want to check that. How many leave days am I entitled to? Am I entitled to certain leaves, maternity leaves, paternity leaves? Some organizations give paternity leave, some others don't. If you're not comfortable with it, raise it if you have to raise it. What else? Yeah, I think that's just the few ones that are coming to my head. Because the truth, the reality is, the offer letter is meant for you to review, not just meant for you to sign. It's a contract that nobody just goes blindly and signs a contract because an employer is giving it to you. No, you have the right, RIGHT, to review it and say, okay, what does this clause mean? What does this terminology mean? I need some clarity. If you're not comfortable with certain clauses, find out, ask, and I think I should mention finally, when you're also asking for certain things, please ask in a very polite way. Don't ask like, okay, we said this and that during interviews. Why? No, there's also a way to, especially for things like maybe salary. You want a salary review upward. Maybe you put them in a range and then they were giving you a lower range. You want it to be increased. And so please, thank you so much for the offer. I, I thank you for the pay as well. However, in light of the responsibilities attached to this role, I would appreciate an upward review of the salary to XYZ, or just leave it blank, an upward review of the salary. Thank you in anticipation of the response. That's the polite way to make a request for the offer to be reviewed upward and all of that. So yeah, I thought to mention that as well. Like I say, Emmanuel said, we should review it. Maybe two things. My advice would be that oh yeah, so I put out the post on news on 2 weeks ago, I think, or maybe yes, 2 weeks, either 2 weeks or last week. When I said the opening statement is there are not enough jobs, but there's a job for you. I'll say it again. There are not enough jobs, especially in some contexts. Some other very advanced countries, they have pretty much decent employment rates, but in countries like third world countries, there are typically not enough jobs. However, there is a job for you. You don't need a million jobs, you just need one job. And every country has at least one job. So what does that information mean? It means don't focus on what you can't control, which is there's not enough job for everybody, every employable person. You can't control that. Just leave that. What you can control is positioning yourself to take advantage of if it's just one job. Because at the end of the day, if it's only one job that is available for a population of say 260 million, one person is going to take that job. So do all you can to ensure that you are that one person. get a job. That's number one. Number two, information that I would like to bring out from that same sentence that there are not enough jobs, but there's a job for you. Number two, information that you can infer from that is also for you to be patient with yourself. Like I mentioned, the truth is there are not enough jobs for everyone. So the competition is so high that sometimes you can be very good, your CV can be very good, but you might not eventually get the job because there are other people that are as good as you are as well. So that's where patience comes in. So don't throw in the towel, don't think you're cursed, don't think that you're the odd one out. There are also other people that are out there pushing it, trying hard, and eventually many of them get the testimonies of landing jobs that they eventually want. So yeah, that's the pattern word that I'll leave you with, and that's the those are the two information that I want you to, or meanings that I want you to bring out from that pattern word. That there are not enough jobs, yes, but there is a job for you.
Wow, that's beautiful, beautiful. We have all heard it from Mr. Emmanuel himself. We are so grateful to have you, Mr. Emmanuel. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. And definitely be expecting a lot of thank you for sharing this feedback shortly. All right. So it's very nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me.